on this morning. He's got a chance right now of, I think, going pretty far in the playoffs. I mean, I've seen him play. They've got one of the best teams in the Valley, and that's Coach Finley of the Los Fresnos Falcons. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, congratulations on your win last night. And, it was a tough-fought battle.
It sure was. I appreciate it. And, I was happy to get out of there with the win against a really good veterans football team.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you guys have the last few weeks. You've had kind of like an ebb and flow. You haven't. You're starting to play your best football right now. I mean, what's that like?
Oh, it's good. It's really good. We want to be at our best at the right time, and now's the right time to be playing really well. And hopefully we can get better throughout this next week and get ready for a nice playoff run.
Have you looked at the scenarios? Do you know exactly who you're playing? Because Weslaco East, we just had Coach Brigette on. He's 98% sure that he's playing Brownsville Vets. Do you guys know who you're playing?
We're about 98% sure it's going to be Weslaco High. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be Weslaco High. They're going to win the district championship. We had the head-to-head with Harlingen. Harlingen beat us head-to-head, so therefore we would be the second seed big school in our district, which would play the first seed big school out of 31, which would be Weslaco High, considering they win the district championship.
Now, with your district is so tough. Like, how is that prepared you? Is it going to be I don't want to say cakewalk, because I think your district by far is the best one in the Valley in any classification. How do you think that's prepared you for this game? Because I mean, you've beaten Edinburgh North and Edcal Chelsea, some teams on this side of the Valley, but how's it prepared you guys?
It's a big deal. The district got really tough here a couple years ago, and it's really made this district stronger. It's brought out the best in all the coaching staff throughout the district, and the kids have had great coaching. And I tell you what, it's been really good for us. And because our district is so strong, when we get to go to the next level and play, post-district play, the speed of play doesn't jump up quite that big. So, it sets everybody up to be successful.
You're not originally from the Valley, but a lot of people bring up the Valley Week about the third round in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, having coached down here now for a while, how have you seen that mentality? I mean, have you seen it from the other side, from our side?
Yeah, I have, and I see it as it's just mental deal. When Valley teams go out there and they play their best football and they're focused on what's important and doing their job and not focused on who they're playing, that's when they do better. But when they listen to all that Valley Week talk, it's just a distraction that has no impact on it. You definitely have to play your best football, because the speed of ball definitely goes up in the third round, because they have great athletes. They are, overall play at a faster speed. But, that's everybody in general. When you get to the third round, the speed of play jumps up for everybody. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. We got to make sure that we handle it better than we did last year. If we get to that point, hopefully we get to that point. We got to beat Hannah this week, though.
Yeah. Well, what do you? A lot of people talk about your team, but they don't really talk about any specific player being like that marquee name. But you guys have some great players. I mean, who are the guys that you rely on?
One of our best football players is our free safety, Fabian Rodriguez. He was all Valley for us last year. He blocked 6 punts for us last year, and he's just a playmaker. He's got a lot of experience. He's played since he was a sophomore. He's a physical kid, and he's got a lot of desire to be good. And his leadership, it really pays off and helps us. Offensively, we don't have a whole lot of stars, I guess you would say. Pete Perez has a lot of experience for us. He's played 2 years for us on the varsity level. I think he has scored in every single game that we played this year. He's done really well for us. And, our quarterback has done really well throwing the football as well. So we got some experience in some key positions that's been beneficial for us. And our quarterback's the first-year starter, but, I think he throws the ball a whole lot better than any quarterback I've had before. So it just adds a whole new dimension to our offense, and that's been really beneficial for us.
Hey, Coach, this is Kevin here. We talked a little bit last night in the post-game interview about the defense, and yeah, Fabian Rodriguez was just everywhere, and I actually did catch that highlight where he just laid the hit over the middle, and when I saw that hit, I was like, yeah, this Los Fresnos secondary is for real, and I had said it at the beginning of the year that this secondary, I said at the top of the show that they're physical, they hit you hard, and they're flying to the football, and that's one thing I'm a big fan of is that I've always said if you're a defender, anytime you're around the football, good things are going to happen, and it just seems that's what's working for your defense.
No doubt. They play with great attitude and a great effort, and they really came through for us last night. Played one of their best football games of the year against one of the best offenses that we've seen, and we struggled at times offensively there for a while, and they were able to get 7 turnovers for us, I believe, and gave us what we needed to get it figured out. And they had a great game. I was very pleased with the defense, and I'm glad to see them playing so good this late in the year.
Yeah, and then Rene Ortega has really stepped up as a quarterback. Having some big shoes to fill with Pierce Ruiz having graduated, but he's done a heck of a job. And I talked to him early in the year about him and his chemistry with Pete Bettis. Tell me a little bit about that 1-2 punch you got there.
Oh, it's been great. Pete's a really good wide receiver, and Rene gets him the football. He can get him the football, and he was there last year. And Pierce was a really good, hard running, tough football player. Checked us into good plays, made sure that the offense was run in a very efficient manner. And Rene brings the ability to get the ball out of the box and stretch the field vertically, which takes it all the way to a new level. And it's been very good for our offense.
Now, I did follow you guys a lot last year, and I really don't think you guys, y'all haven't missed a beat. I called y'all's playoff game last year. Was it against Madison or Reagan in the third round? I forget.
Reagan.
It was Reagan, right, at Kingsville.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really do think you guys competed in that football game. I remember the onside kick to start the game. You guys got it. Y'all played them toe to toe. And then this year, it just seems as everybody has just gotten better. The experience, of course, having been in the playoffs last year. So, as a coach and as a program, you guys kind of know what's out there already. In that again, like you said, that Valley Week, that third round. So, how big is that experience? Coming into this year's postseason run.
Oh, it's huge. It was huge for the kids to get that experience. Even the guys that didn't play, the guys who are starting now, they were there. They saw it. They felt the experience. They felt the atmosphere, and hopefully, just being in that atmosphere is going to give them some confidence and be ready to really respond to that atmosphere a little bit better. Hopefully, we get to that situation, but. Like I said, it's a week-by-week deal, and Weslaco's a dang good football team in the first round that we will definitely have to play a great game, or else, we won't experience anything like that. So,
Have you had a chance to scout Weslaco already? We're going to have Coach Tony V later on in the show, but have you had a chance to scout them?
I've seen them. I believe I've seen them play once. I scouted Harlingen. They played on an off night. I believe it was a Saturday or a Thursday night. I can't remember. I think it was a Saturday night, and or maybe we were playing on Thursday or Saturday. But I got to see the Harlingen and Weslaco game, and boy, they're looking really good. They got several really good running backs and a very stout-looking defense. So they're playing good football right now. I believe they won 28-0 last night against a pretty good Economides team. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Being that nobody really runs the slot T in your district, how do you guys get prepared for that? Because a lot of people are going to the QB option, shotgun. How do you guys prepare for that slot T that nobody's really running a lot?
Well, it is definitely different. It is different. It's like playing an option football team. You have to do your job. You got to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, in several different defenses. If you line up one way, then they're just going to tee off on you. You're going to figure something out. So you have to be able to change it up a little bit and be able to execute and have your eyes in the right place and play good option ball. So we take the football out of the equation and make sure that our kids are where they're supposed to be. And that's always helped us out a little bit when we're practicing for a team that runs an offense like that. But the other thing is, we've been known to line up in the eye and run at you a little bit around here. So we play a little bit of defense against a smash mouth football team like that, and during the preseason and stuff when we're practicing against ourselves and everything. So it's not completely foreign to us. So hopefully we'll be able to match up and go toe-to-toe with them.
Coach, when you were at Nebraska, did you guys were running the option still then? Was that the Frank Stolich era, or were you before that with Tom Osborne?
I was in the middle of it. I got 2 years with Coach Osborne and 3 years with Coach Stolich. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ran the option. So you've seen the option. So.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So, oh, hell, this is nothing new for you.
That's right. That's right. Our offense is based off that offense here, actually. So you wouldn't think it by the way that it looks, but our schemes are exactly the same, and we actually use the same terminology and everything. So.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you're missing is Tommy Frazier or Eric Crouch.
Yeah, Scott Frost.
Yeah,
that's
Scott
right.
Frost, yeah.
Any of those guys we'd love to have. But we've had some guys a lot like those guys. Javier Cruz was a really stout, tough, hard running quarterback, and then of course Pierce was a hard-nosed runner too that ran the option pretty well also. So this year we got a little bit more of a passer, but he runs the ball pretty well too. But with his arm and his ability to get the ball down the field vertically, like I said, it looks a little different than what people are used to seeing.
Oh, wow. So that Weslaco matchup in the playoffs is more and more interesting now. Okay.
Always. It's always a dogfight.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for those. Can't wait for the playoffs. I know you got Hannah next, but I can't wait to see you guys in the playoffs. But thanks for joining us today, Coach.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.
Coach Finley of the Los Fresnos Falcons. He was at Nebraska during their heyday. I mean, we're